Hi, this is part 2 of the character drawing series. Before you begin, click on Reset for Styles and Reset All Tools. Be sure that you are on frame 0. Now bring in the image that you'll be working from. In Layers, click on New Layer and choose Image. Find the image on your computer and select it and click Open. And then double-click on that image in the Layers palette. And next to opacity, change that to 30 or 40 and click OK. In the Layers palette, click on New Layer and choose Bone. Name your character, whatever you want to name it, and then select everything else and drag it into that bone folder. So you should have this for starters. The first part that you'll want to start out with is the torso. This area here, which could be a shirt for you if your character is wearing clothing. Your character may not be human, so I don't know if you have clothing or fur or what have you, but basically you need to focus on what would be the torso area, the shirt right here, and you'll include the neck. So click down here on layer 1 and let's leave that one alone. Click on New Layer, Vector, and I'm just going to name mine Torso. You can name yours whatever you want. And I'm going to zoom in very close. Throughout this process, you're going to be imagining parts of the body that you can't see. In other words, you're going to be drawing much higher up here for the neck. You're not going to stop right there where the face would be. You always want plenty of overlapping. The same goes for here. You have to imagine that you would see more of his shirt if he lifted his arm. I'll start drawing these parts to give you an idea about how to get started, but I won't complete them while I'm running the video. Since we aren't drawing the same thing, it wouldn't be completely helpful to show you exactly what I do. You also want to start out with fairly light colors when you choose colors. You can change them to dark after you've completed drawing the character and rigging the character with bones. The reason for this is because it's really difficult to see the bones on dark colors. So here's how I might go about drawing this part of the body. I'll start out with a rectangle. I'm going to choose a pale orange for it. I'll start out with this rectangle here. And my stroke line is too heavy and that's going to annoy me, so right now I'm going to change that. And then I'll add some points. Add point. And remember, you can move them around when you put a point and you still have the mouse button down, and that can be helpful. It's going to be very important that you try to keep the same number of points on one side that you have on the other. So right now, you see I have a point here and there. I have a point here and I have one here. Here and here, there and there, and one at the top. You should continue to follow that concept for everything we draw. This will become very important once we get into the bone rigging next week. I'm going to add another point down here to put a little curve in the shirt, and mine is off. There's a lot of little shaping up to do. I'm going to add a point here and here, and one here and here, just so that I can make whatever adjustments I need to throughout. So if I decide to add even another one over here, I should just put one right here. So if I go over to the Layers palette now and I hide my cartoon character, that's what my shape looks like, and it just took me a few moments to throw that together. Now turning that back on, what I would do is go back over to the Transform Points tool, and I'll start moving things around to get it more shaped up to match up with my image behind it. Now I paused the video, and you'll be able to do the same in a moment, but I want to show you what I need to do in order to separate the shirt color from his neck color. I'll go over to Add Point. I'll point over top of this one right here, click and drag and stop a couple of times to put shape into that. Stop over top of this point here and then hit Enter. Now I need to draw an imaginary line around the part that would be the neck color by going over here to Tools and choosing Select Point. I'll click on Lasso Mode up here in the settings for Select Point, and then I'll click and I'll drag and draw around. I can check to make sure that I got the part I wanted by going over to Tools and clicking on Create Shape. So this is the part. This would be the neck color. But that was just to make sure, and I'm not going to do anything just yet. First, I need to go over here to Hide Edge. I'll click on that, and I'll click on these edges here. I want to get rid of that stroke line. So there's my part. All the points are still selected. And now I can go back over to Create Shape, and looking up here, both is selected, and I can click on Create Shape. Now I can go over and select the shape and change the color for it, and click OK. And now if I want to put a little line on it, I can go back over to Hide Edge and click again and put it back on. And you can always go back whenever you need to and click on the eyeballs for your image to make sure you're getting it right. The reason why I went through all the trouble to hide the edge and then put it back is because if I would have left that one there, I would have ended up with a double stroke line that would have been impossible to get rid of and really difficult to work with. So go ahead and work on that part of the body. I'll pause now and I'll continue in the next video.